Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Power of the Prime's Voyager class Inferno. It is Inferno, right? Not Autobot Inferno. Yep, just Inferno. Yes, this is the last Voyager class figure we are going to be getting out of Power of the Primes. And it's actually a retool, repaint of a Combiner Wars figure. This is a retool of Combiner Wars Hotspot, minor retool, not as extensive as Combiner Wars Onslaught. But yeah, just as another character. This seems to have been the intended retool of Hotspot all along, as there was some other sources that indicated that to be the case, and it's interesting that we actually see it actually reach store shelves. I will also quickly note right now, camera is a little higher than I normally do because I'll be showing off combined form just to show it off. So that's why the camera angle is different to make it easier later on. But getting into the figure itself, Inferno turns into a very long fire truck with some very weird gaps and not wanting to be perfectly straight. As you can see, you have to push him down to make sure all of his wheels are rolling. But you can get them to roll, and he does roll relatively nicely. Again, mostly red fire truck. You do have some black up at the windows, at the front, and on the side, the doors, I should say. Black wheels about. A bit of yellow and gray up here for the lights. You do see there are sticker details there on the sides for the FDs for fire department. Sorry, that was probably a little high up, so you probably missed me pointing to those things. Yeah, so some sticker details are on this figure as it is a Power of the Primes toy. Tiny Autobot symbol here with around some nice silver paint and some white pieces. They seem molded white pieces. And then you got a gap there showing Inferno's face. If the lighting can show that, yeah, you can see that in there. There's a face hiding in there. No paint on the back except for the fists that are sticking out very obviously. You got the white ladder going up to white painted sides on the bucket that is molded in black plastic, as well as the bucket there that is actually the combined form's head. So yeah, I already showed it rolling, and the ladder does have articulation. There is a very strong joint down there that ratchets all the way around that far, but it is on ratcheted points, so it is going to be at specific angles. It's going to be hard to get it in between. Well, maybe not so hard to get it in between angles, but it certainly will prefer certain angles over others. There's also this hinge right here that you can use that can bend all the way over, but that's a bit more for transformation. This hinge up here, which again, also for transformation because ladders don't work like that. And then the bucket at the top has that hinge up there, so you can get it to adjust to be like an actual fire truck, which is neat. It is very gappy. There's very thin in the middle here, but there's some nice molded detail to indicate like typical fire engine stuff there and there. And a nice molded door right there, even though the sticker is kind of over it, so that detail probably rips every time they open the door on that fire engine. But oh well. Again, a little weird design of a fire engine, but still neat enough. Kind of futuristic, sci-fi-ish kind of a fire truck, closer to than something I think we would see in the real world, but maybe wrong. If someone knows exactly the type of fire, can find a picture of this exact fire engine in the real world, send a picture to me, because I'd be very curious to see that. But moving away from the fire engine itself, there goes the camera. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. No time to reshoot that, so we're just gonna roll right along. Here's Inferno's two weapons. These are the exact same ones that came with Combiner Wars Hotspot. Molded black plastic. They're basically mirrors of each other, except this one has a post. Since this is for the combined form, you can combine them like so to make them one long gun with two 5mm posts there and on the side, bottom and on the side there. So you are able to plug it onto the truck. The main places on this form are in the backs here, at the base of the ladder, like so, or at the top of the bucket right there. And again, you can either do it the one direction or the other. I do prefer the flatter way, but I'll show off this angle so as you can see how that looks. And again, this is another way of doing it. There you go. But as he has a Power of the Primes figure, he also comes with two Prime Armor foot pieces that will be utilized for his combined form. They're the same one. I think they're the same exact ones that came with Starscream, just molded in black. They've got the 5mm ports at the bottom and at the top. Well, these are for the ankles, but you can stick these on as well. And the 5mm ports, that's a little trickier, but you can definitely get them in there. They don't look good, but they do go in. The peg at the ladder head is a little shallow, so they'll be a little bit looser than other 5mm ports, but you can get them in there for sure. Just still weird. And then he comes with an Enigma of combination. This is the Autobot Enigma, which is the same Enigma that Elita 1's was called the Autobot Enigma. So yeah, it's just black and blue paint. I think it might actually be the same as Elita's. Hold on. No, it's not. It is not the same as Elita's. I do recognize it though. I'm just trying to think of whose it is. It's Grimlock's. I bet it's Grimlock's. Okay, so it's not Grimlock's, but he's got the similar knobby things on the top there and there that Grimlock's has. So that's why I was thinking it was similar. So yeah, so it's original. It's unique. It's got its own colors to it. So I'm just putting that off to the side. Oh, actually, I can't put that off to the side because I just want to talk that, yes, it fits into the Prime Armor pieces that Inferno comes with. Fits pretty snug. Just push it. This back piece goes into that hole. So if you want to get it out, that's how you're going to do it, because you are not getting it from the front unless you use those pieces. And I just disproved my own point. I forgot you could do that. I thought I tried it and I thought I couldn't get it out, but evidently you can get it out using from the front end. But yeah, this can also fit Time Masters, Prime Masters, and the gun covers for the deluxes from the Power of the Primes series. But that's all he comes with. And that is all to say on Inferno in vehicle mode. So let's get into some size comparisons. So here he is with Titans Return Legends Class Bumblebee. And you can see that scale. Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. And you can see that scale. Voyager Class Megatron. Scale. Inferno is very, very long, so that's why he is much longer than Megatron. Actually, he should probably be longer than Leader Class 6 Shot. Oh, yeah, that's definitely longer. And for a few other comparisons, here he is. I don't have the Universe 08 Inferno, but I do have the retool of the 2010 Solar Storm Grapple. So here's a comparison with that if you happen to own the Inferno mold, I should say. The original version of the mold, Commander Wars Hotspot. So let's show off those differences, and differences. Obviously the same length. And then one more, the retool of Hotspot into Combiner Wars Onslaught. And And yeah, that there. So that's all there is to say on Inferno in his vehicle mode. So let's roll right along and get to his robot mode with taking the stop at his combined torso mode. So to get to torso mode, we're gonna move that out of the way. We're gonna just get the ladder out of the way for the time being. That's gonna be the easiest. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here and I'm gonna split the arms. And of note, the ladder section, there are two, if I can get the camera to focus correctly, there's two slots on the sides of this bit right here that fit that tab and that tab on what will be his the robot mode arms, and putting those together, make sure that is locked into place. So make sure those are there to hold that all together. And then and again, go in torso mode, we're going to rotate these sections, untab the forearm from the top, and then bend the arms up, and this tab will go into that slot, and that post will go into that hole right there to make sure that is all secure. Then you can flip that bit down, and that side is done. Repeat on the other side, rotate, untab, bend, up, tab together, fold that down, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Next, we're gonna come down here and split the legs. We will rotate them around like so, and we're gonna untab the cab section from that little post right there. There's just a little hook to make that secure. And I'm gonna fold that up like so, and you'll hear that lock into place. Again, repeat on the other side. Pull out, fold up, lock. We'll keep the legs spread for the time being, so as we can get this to work. So what we're gonna do is actually, let's keep that closed. We're gonna fold this down, fold that down that hinge, and this bit right there is gonna go into that section, that hole right there, to help make that lock in place. And then we got the ladder in the way, so let's get the ladder out of the way first. Then we're gonna bend down the ladder section down on that hinge. I'm gonna fold that around like so, untab like that, fold that all the way up. The front section came undone, so I'll retab that in. And then there's two tabs at the bottom of the bucket that are gonna go into those slots right there. So we'll do that. Yeah, that was off camera, but you heard that. You heard that connection. So I'll just do that again, like so. We can put these tabs into the slots on these frame bits right there to help secure the chest in a bit more. Then we can fold these panels down, flip this bucket up, rotate the head around, and there we have Inferno's torso mode. There is no name for the combined form for him at all. I do have a name for him, but I will mention that once I actually get everyone combined. So, whoops. Well, that was very acoustic for being springs for my mic stand. But just to show off really quick, he connects by taking the Combiner Wars post, sliding that right in like so, doing that, and then taking for the arms, it's just moving that bit out of the way, sliding that in there, and doing that like so. And I'm just going to cut right here to finish making him all combined, so as you can see him all nice and pretty. And there is Inferno with a bunch of random bots combined into a combined form. Again, there is no name associated with this combiner, but you know what? For fun, let's call him Firestormer. That sounds like a cool name, right? Right. Couple things to note. I did put Jazz on the Lake Moonrise Horizon, but I switched that up because she is actually one of the recommended combinations for Inferno's combined form. The other three limbs are not the ones I have here. The other recommended limbs are Cutthroat, Blot, and Sinner Twin, the Wave 3 Power of the Primes Deluxes, who I don't own, so I couldn't show that off, so I just picked 3 random Autobots. And I also threw groove on his chest, just so you know, just so as you could see that groove is still compatible with Inferno, with Inferno's torso mode. And speaking of the torso mode, let's get a closer look. Actually, I'll just pull groove off for now because I just need to show that the combination worked. But I still need to talk about all of the colors going on here. Taking a closer look at his head. It is a straight up redeco of the Hotspot head. It's got black on the sides, yellow visor, nice silver face, black chin stripe, and red top head of helmet. We got the chest details with a lot of silver and white, silver picking up a bunch of nice details. There's a little bit of black there, a little bit of silver down there. Some smaller Autobot stickers there with stripes and a tiny Autobot logo on them. Going down a little bit more, you got some more silver paint there. Molded detail that exists on Hotspot that's not picked out here, and then you just got the rest of the combiner bits. And as for articulation for Inferno's torso mode itself, the head does rotate a full 360s. And there's a little wiggle waggle and up and nodding action going on here, which I have checked on mine is there on Hotspot, but certainly not to the same degree as this. This feels loose. This feels loose. The Hotspot head feels fairly tight. There's that, and then you have leg articulation with if I can get things out of the way. You do have wheels and bits down here colliding, so you do have to get the wheels out of the way to get him to kick that far forward, as well as that far back. You gotta get him you got some good stretching on him, and as well as you can get the legs to go that far out to the sides. No other size comparisons really are necessary, but I will just show them off quickly next to Hotspot's torso mode. I'm not going to combine them because that's kind of unnecessary. I feel, but just to show the color differences going on here, like I said, pretty much a straight recolor and just different paint applications in different places. But let's get him decombined and let's keep moving along and get him into his robot mode. So moving along, we're gonna just throw his head back the combined head back into where it was, untab, straighten it out, and bring it back all the way back around, like so. And we'll just lift that off and move that out of the way. And then there's one bit I want to talk about there. The Inferno has a new head for his robot mode, but there's another bit of retooling on him that actually makes the combined form a lot more solid. So in transformation, what you're going to do is there's going to be this tab that's going to fit into that slot right there. And that's how that works. If you are familiar with the Hotspot or Onslaught molds, you'll know that it's not a tab, but rather a groove that the same tab fits into. And as you can see, there's no gap there. It's just a solid tabbing mechanism that helps make that more secure than this slot mechanism there. However, that does mean you do need to lift the panel up to get it over the tab itself. So you do kind of have to stress it a little bit, but I think that should be fine, to be completely honest. And then you're going to straighten out the leg. And I don't know how well I'm going to be able to get this to show up on camera, but this is how there's a couple of joints there that are positioned like that, that when they're fully extended. What you need to do is you need to get them orientated in that angle where there's like basically two 90-degree curves among the three hinges, and you need to just slot that straight into the spot right there, and then that knee will be secure. And then you repeat that on the other side. This wheel has had a tendency to fall off. I don't know why. This wheel does not want to stay on. But again, untab, orient that correctly, slot that in, and then you got the legs done. And all you need to do is rotate them that way to get them oriented properly. For the arms, all you do is just untab them, straighten them out, and you can also flip that bit up. Again, straighten the arms out, flip that back up, you're done. Backpack, that folds down. Actually, I am backwards. You have to rotate that 360. The same groove goes onto that bit right there. If the camera will focus onto that bit right there, that groove. So that fits. Sorry, the ladder's in the way, just like so. And then you angle the ladder down like that, and then fold it up like that. And then these two pegs right there and there go into the ports right there and there that were used to hold the weapons in the vehicle mode. So you do that, you get that all lined up, and that's all now locked into place. Last thing you need to do is come down, pull down the chest, flip up the head, close the chest back up, and there you have Inferno in his robot mode. And he looks very, very neat, surprisingly. I thought I would prefer, well, I don't know because I don't have the OE Inferno mode, but I thought I would not like this as much because it's not the same proportions as G1 Inferno. But this is a very good substitute, I will say. If you just blanket statement, if you don't have a modern representation of G1 Inferno, this one will suffice. I will say, definitely not accurate, but like, you got the ladder, you got the colors, you got the head. Certainly fits the bill, I will say, and is a very nice mold. But getting in closer on him, you can see his head sculpt, which is again new head sculpt for this mold. Straight up Inferno face, silver paint on the face, light blue for the eyes, bit of yellow and silver to pick out some details there. You got a sticker Autobot symbol on his chest, bit of yellow up there, black for the lower chest, some stickers on the black crotch area, a little bit of red peeking out here and there. Shoulder pads are red with a bit of black, arms molded gray, molded red. You got black fists and a little bit of silver around them, which is a nice detail to pick out, I will say. Legs, the thighs are solid black. Lower legs are red with a little bit of silver. There's the lights from the vehicle mode and the stickers that I pointed out before, as well as the cabs being the just becoming the feet. Don't know why this leg is being loose. It doesn't want it to hold. This one's gonna hold. This one's folding back. I don't know. Guess that hinge is a little looser in the articulation department. But speaking of articulation, let's get talking about that. His head can rotate 360 degrees. It's a little tight, and I feel like the clearances are a little tight there, but because like you do have to kind of like lift the head up a bit to get it around the back section because of how that's molded, but you can get a full 360 degrees. And because of how he transforms, he is able to look down a little bit if you untab the neck from the chest panel there. Arms rotate a full 360 degrees, able to bend that far out. There is a thigh swivel at the elbow, basically. 90-degree bend at the elbow, but then you can use this hinge up here to get a 180-degree bend. So there's that. Nothing at the waist, but the legs can bend that far forward. If you get the ladder backpack out of the way, they can bend that far back. And that far out to the side. That far out to the side. There is a thigh swivel for 360 degrees of rotation. A strong knee bend of well over 90 degrees. And the toe, if you detransform it, you can get some toe bend, but I'm not sure if that's going to be very stable. But you can certainly get into some cool... Yeah, that is actually kind of stable. Yeah, he does have a huge backpack, and when you do have the backpack down, it does require it to be straight down to help support. That's probably why those hooks are there to help support the backpack. Like I just showed you, you can get some posing out of him that does not require him having the backpack on the ground, which is always a nice touch. I did forget to mention one thing. And I'm just thinking this now because we're getting into our accessories for robot mode. And that wheel fell off again. I don't know why. That wheel is so loose. That wheel is so loose. But one thing I forgot to mention with combined mode, there is no place for the Enigma to store on Inferno's torso mode. There's absolutely no place to store it. You have to stick it into a prime armor piece of some kind to get it onto combined form. And that is the case for the robot mode as well. So while we're here, let's talk about the prime armor pieces. You can stick them into his fists. They do fit in the fist. They are 5mm posts, so they do fit there. But that's silly. If I remember correctly, there were some early promo shots we saw that suggested you could stick them in the arms like so, but the tool, and there's a gap there and there certainly, that if they had desired to retool this bit to be a 5mm post, I am certain that would fit. However, just because of the shape, that does not fit. What I have found works very well is these 5mm posts here on the back work quite nicely if you can get them in there. I'm just going to lift this up a little bit, and I'm sorry if anything that was off camera. Stick that in there like so. Stick that in there like so. And you can even fold that down, and that all stores very nicely on the backpack. And gives him a little thicker of an appearance, though, with the camera and the lighting. His legs kind of just disappear. They just kind of disappear because of all of the black. But he can, of course, hold his weapons in his hands. The left fist feels tighter than the right one, so I don't know if it's the weapon handle itself or the 5mm post, but I think actually it's the right. No, it might just be the post. It might just be the post on this. Yeah, it's definitely the post. Definitely this post feels thicker than this post just by a hair, which is very weird. Very weird. I mean, they are two different, they are molded to look similar, but are two different molds. So there's a reason for it, but it's still odd. But yeah, that looks very nice. You can store them on the back as well. Yeah, if you got the prime armor pieces there, I guess you can stash them, the guns on the sides right there, but they look fine in his fists. So I shall just, I'm going to take them out because that one's being a pain. And I'll just take the accessories off because that's not how he's officially supposed to look. And it should look as official as possible as we get into the robot mode size comparisons. Here he is next to Legends class Bumblebee, who basically comes up. He's taller than his knee for sure. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, who comes up to his waist. Why is Chrome Dome not standing? Come on, Chrome Dome. I know you know how to stand. It's Megatron that can't stand standing. Chrome Dome, Voyager Megatron, who is actually standing pretty nicely and just a hair taller than Inferno at the head. We have Leader class Six Shot, who is a touch taller for sure. Then we have Channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. Wheeljack, hold your sword up. You know how to hold your sword. Or do you? I don't think you do anymore. I think you forgot how to hold a sword, but there you can see the Channel's mascots. And let's show them off with Grapple, or Grapple, as his actual name is. Grapple is a touch taller, but you can see that there's certainly similarities between the two molds. The head design, for one. Well, Grapple's got a bit of a different head, but the coloring is similar, which is the same coloring as on the original Inferno's head. These bits kind of look like the light bars there. That's faux chest. You got the silver going around the black fists. You got the wheels on the inside of the legs. There's some similarities, but certainly this one's got more proportion to the original toy. closer proportion to the original toy. And this Skinny Marink over here. And speaking of Skinny Marinks, let's show him off next to Hotspot, who he shared the mold with. So you can see all of the differences between the two of them. And as well as the Retool Onslaught. So as you can see, the differences there as well. But yeah, overall, I actually enjoy Hotspot. I mean, not Hotspot. I do enjoy Hotspot, but I mean Inferno, since that is who I am reviewing in this review. Hotspot's actually quite nice for a retool. Again, not proportionally not close to the G1, but you know, changing up the styles is fine every now and again. But if in a line that's supposed to be slavishly G1, proportions can also matter. So that could turn you off or not. If you don't have an Inferno and you want an Inferno for yourself, this actually is a very nice substitute for the Universal 08 one, which I'll talk my thoughts about that mold when I review Grappel. But that's certainly closer in shape and proportion, again, like I've been saying, to the original G1 toy. And this is certainly also kind of more so to be Hotspot than anything else. And this does look like a fire truck that could be other fire trucks a bit more easily. Like, I definitely see this much more as a pyro than I would see it used as an Inferno first. But hey, he's still a fire truck, so why not? But I do think I might turn him into a hose head, because that is something that I've heard has been done a lot with the Hotspot mold. So yeah, that may change depending upon how easily I can get my hands on an Inferno, an 08 Inferno. But yeah, this is a fun mold. But yeah, overall, this is a fun mold. If you don't happen to have Inferno or the mold itself, I do recommend you pick it up. Or if this just happens to strike your fancy. But that is all I have to say on Inferno, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in, and this is SoundJack signing off.